everybody, welcome back to the After Hour podcast. Today I got my main boy right here, Colton.
Yeah, that's right. We kicked Danny out this time. Danny, not happening. Not anymore.
She decided to go to Vegas
No,
to play.
she left. He there's a
She
couple
left me alone?
insults you were throwing around, and she couldn't take it, and she was like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Whatever.
So then I got called in.
Whatever. She's gonna come by next week and gonna be kicking my ass because I forgot to tell her that we're gonna be recording you and me today.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm
right.
gonna
So
tell her.
when she finds out, she's going to be like, what the f-?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, then she's gonna be buddy. I'm gonna
I
kill
know,
you.
exactly. But that's fine.
Whatever.
She'll find out later.
Oh, yeah. When I'm done. If you don't hear from me,
If I don't hear from you, then I know she got the message, and that's it.
yeah, she killed me basically.
Then it'll just be me and Danny. The after hours is done.
Jesus
That's it.
Christ!
It had a short
You're gonna
run.
kick me out of my own podcast, Jesus. Whatever. But anyway, so you went to see Barbie, right?
Yeah, so I went yesterday to go see Barbie. Now, I'm not a big Barbie person whatsoever.
What guy is?
No, I don't think any guy is.
It's ugly.
But I went. At first, I didn't want to go. So for like weeks, I've been pressured, like, oh, you should go see it. You should go see it. And I'm like, no, I'd rather go see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That's the one I prefer between the two, because the whole thing about
Yeah.
Barbenheimer and how you see both. I wanted to see just that, but because a lot of my friends want to see Barbie, I said, okay, if we do Barbenheimer, I'll do both. But we have to do both. And my one friend's like, I can't do that because I already saw Oppenheimer and I don't want to see it again. I was like, okay.
That's a 3-hour-long movie, so I don't
think
blame
like
him.
4 hours. So
4
I was like,
hours?
roughly, I think.
Oh, God damn it.
I don't know, because I think Oppenheimer's just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but but I don't think 4 hours. I think it's 3 hours.
Yeah? Okay,
I
well.
think so. Who the hell is gonna watch a 4-hour movie? Jesus Christ.
No. I don't know if I could, but if I had the time, maybe I could pull it off. But I just couldn't sit there for hours on end
Yeah.
to do that.
I'm just mad because I wanted to see Oppenheimer in IMAX, and I forgot to go on the opening weekend. And then
Yeah.
the next weekend, when I was looking for tickets, they didn't have it in IMAX anymore. They only have it in the regular one. So it's like, fuck, I don't want to watch it, but like, still a big screen, which I should probably go watch it. But I wanted to watch it in IMAX.
See, I wanted to do it. There was like a meme post, and it was so funny, where there's a guy in the movie theater, IMAX, same thing. So like, you're
Yeah.
gonna get that good sound.
Yeah.
But he's sitting all the way in the front, and the meme was just like the moment the nuke drops, and just the sound, and he just like he loses everything, his face, the whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
Like
No, but I
Again?
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, but wait, with the sound, I thought Dolby was the one that had the.
I don't know, one of the two, but I just saw the meme where like the moment the nuke drops, it's like him being exploded, like he's just in the actual nuke, and he's like ripped from to
Dude.
his bones.
Dude, did you hear they figure out how to do a bomb explosion, like because you know the bomb in the movie
Yeah.
is not CGI. They actually made it.
Oh yeah. That's right. I did hear about that, but
Yeah,
I didn't
like-
think it would be like as big, like it's
I have
not
no
gonna be-
idea. I honestly have no idea.
It's Christopher Nolan, so I have no
he
idea.
probably did like a big one. Yeah.
He probably did something. Yeah.
I honestly I want to know how he did that because I would love to do something like that.
That's a tough thing to do.
I mean, if you
Like
have the money,
it's hard. Like yeah, if you have the money, but then like I've seen like videos where like lighting people on fire, like getting the glue
Oh,
and stuff. That's
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
causing like the explosions and stuff like that, that's also like another thing where you have to try to like control it because you don't want the explosion to like accidentally do something where it's like it's doing more than what it should. So like it'd be a lot bigger
Yeah.
than what you expect because then it's gonna hit the cameras or like the crew gets affected somehow.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. But I don't know, because I don't know why he did like a visual effect instead of, no, sorry, not visual, what?
Like an
is that?
actual like yeah, he did an actual explosion.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know
did
what
an
you call it,
actu-
but
I
yeah.
forgot.
Practical effects.
A practical effect. There you go,
Practical,
thank you.
yeah.
I don't know why he decided to do a practical effect, but I will say it is very impressive.
No, it is.
I don't think anybody has.
That's
ever
why
done something that.
I like a mix of both practicality and then like
And
actual
then
like going
VFX,
VFX
yeah.
and like going through it and like
Yeah.
changing it around. Because some VFX shots, like there's some that is like you don't need to do full VFX
Yeah.
for a lot of things. There's some things you could do practical.
Yeah. No, and like practical to me, it's always better. I'm not a big fan of Star Wars, you know this,
Yeah.
but like the original ones,
I hate you for it, but yeah, yeah.
every friend that I have that knows I don't like Star Wars, they all hate me.
I had I started dimming out from it, but then once I saw The Mandalorian, it re-kicked back up.
Yeah,
And that is a
keeps
good
telling
show. I'm highly recommend anybody who hasn't seen it. You need to watch
Everybody
it. Everybody
keeps
so
telling me
good.
to watch it, but like in Star Wars, even the ones in the 2000, there was a lot of practical effects that they did, and it was always better because like the one that we watched together, the episode 9, that I went with
We
you, and I
did?
was half asleep most of the time. Remember? We
Well,
went to
I
the
was like
movies?
the same way. I was kind of like I was just a little zoned out because
Yeah.
it just wasn't. It was.
It was so boring, man. I don't know.
Well,
how
that's
people
what I'm
like that.
saying. Like the prequels and then the sequel, everything before the newer ones,
Yeah.
totally fine. I meshed
Even
with it,
even
no
the
problem.
2000 ones, because people hate those. So the prequels.
I don't know. I thought those were not bad.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like amazing, but they
Yeah.
were still good. Like
They
I
were still-
like my favorite thing was the Revenge of the Sith fight scene, but
Mhm.
like in the end, like that was the best fight, like lightsaber fight I've seen in a while.
Okay.
Versus like, because as you know, obviously as like we're getting like better cameras and stuff
Yeah.
like that, they're getting better at like doing all these other things. So like
Mhm.
being able to like VFX the lightsaber to a way where like now we can have the actual tools to pull off things we could have done before, because an
Yeah.
actual like practical thing to make was hard to do for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like what I was saying, like in the last movie that we saw, the last one that came out
I know.
from the 3 new ones,
Yeah.
right? Some of the stuff that I think everything was VFX.
Yeah,
and there
I was
were-
gonna
I-
say a lot of it
And
was.
and I remember saying, I was like, they could have done a lot of this stuff. They could have done it practical, and it
Yeah.
would have looked a lot better. Because like to me, Disney, ever since Disney got everything, they just
Yeah,
ruined
I
everything.
know.
Marvel,
They just, yeah.
everything, right? Because they want to make everything be effects to make it fast and quick, but it's not.
See, that's
good.
why, like with like companies I know, it's one of those things where they're gonna think about how can I pull the most money, but then at the same token, they're not thinking about like the person behind the TV sort
Yeah.
of thing, and they're just thinking about, okay, no matter what I'm gonna put out there, I'm gonna still get some sort of money off it, and then you're gonna get those comments of like, this is trash or something, and they'll still be like, hey, you're still gonna like my movies anyways. I'm still gonna throw it
Yeah.
out. It's Marvel. Like you just need to hear the title and be like, oh, it's another Marvel movie. Okay, you bought me in.
Yeah,
But then it's once you see the trailers and stuff like that, then you're like,
yeah, like I remember seeing, because like the thing with the like Marvel, for example, right? It's like they put our expectations so high,
they do.
right?
And then they
that now everything is just kind of trash now because they try to pump out so much content, and they don't give time to the BFX artists, so everything just
they
looks-
don't, which is why, yeah,
Everything looks funky and horrible.
they're on such a specific time crunch where the VFX needs like a huge amount of time, because it's not like just doing like a simple like one shot will take like hours.
Days. It would
Yeah,
take
it could it could
days.
take day, like hours to day.
Yeah.
Like if you're very good at your job,
Yeah.
but like there's no way, if you're saying like, oh, it needs to be done in 5 months, there's no way you're gonna get something like
Yeah.
the quality and the way it's gonna get done. You need to push it out. Like it's better you just patience and time, give them the enough time they need to put out the best thing forward. You're gonna get a good return.
Yeah.
If you rush it, then all you've put into it, you're not equating back, or
Yeah.
if anything, profit.
Yeah, because right now, all the hard work that they've done the past 10 years, it's like it's going down the drain
Yeah.
in like 2 years. Like, how long
Exactly.
has it been since Endgame? 3 years? No, 4 years, right?
Oh.
Because it was 2019. It was before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it's like 3-ish years.
Yeah, it was like 3-4 years. So
And
like
that was good, but then after that, it's
everything just started
I mean,
to fall down.
I did watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that was great.
But that's different because that was
I know.
that was James Gunn.
I know, and that's why James Gunn.
Yeah,
is
James
good.
Gunn is like the
He
GOAT.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other movie before that was like, They weren't terrible,
Black
but they
Panther
weren't.
was really good.
No, it was. I thought it was good. I just didn't think
But
it.
it looked funky.
It was a little.
like the first one.
Yeah, there was like a couple moments where it did look a little funky, and if I had to go between the first one and the second one, the first one, I don't know, it was just a lot better.
Yeah, the first. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the first one was just a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, the second one just had a lot to deal with because obviously he died.
I know, yeah.
But I think the way they went about it with the second one, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But so with the Barbie one, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot we were
Yeah, we
talking.
forgot to talk
we,
about Barbie.
we went way off the
What?
curve. All right.
But with the Barbie, so you watch it and like, did you like it and everything?
Yeah, I liked it. I said this to the guys. Just a lot of Kens, a lot of Barbies, and Alan.
So who the hell is? Well, you know what? I don't know if I want to ask because I want to
No,
watch
you can't
the movie.
ask because you got to find out for yourself.
Okay.
There's just a lot of just a lot of the same person, but they're different. I
Okay,
promise.
so the movie wasn't what you expected, basically. Like it was better
Well,
than what you
I
expected.
thought it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if it's a kids thing that's being brought to kids, it's gonna come out the same way. But I also had the idea of like it can seem adultish, but like some of the humor and stuff they put in was like really like underlined like adult stuff. And I can't really I don't want to spoil anything,
yeah.
but like there was like some comments that I was like, oh, I thought they meant something like dirty.
Oh,
But then for
yeah,
a
what you
kid,
told me
they're
earlier.
gonna have no idea what what they're talking about. They're
Yeah.
just thinking they're speaking nonsense,
yeah.
and it's just gonna go over their head. But us as adults, we're gonna be like, oh damn,
Don't you
that's
love that?
dirty.
Don't you love that? Like before when we were kids, that were us with all the cartoons,
it's
and now we understand them all.
see that's why there was there was one show I forgot what it's called. Oh my god,
SpongeBob.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, so like okay,
This was recent. Somebody sent it to me. I was like, I never thought of this at one point, but it was like, it was the sister, I guess, of Cody and Zach,
no, they didn't
and
have
then
a sister.
or what's her name? I
The
can't
blonde
remember. The
one?
blonde one.
Yeah, the one that worked in the hotel.
Oh, is that what she does? Okay,
Yeah,
I
she worked
can't
in the
remember. I
hotel.
can't remember. But
Yeah,
it was her and then her best friend, who's like the Asian girl.
Yeah.
And they're both like sleeping over, and they're like, oh, okay, it's time we have to clean things up. I forgot what it was, but she was starting to undress, and the blonde girl's like, whoa, hold on there. So it's just one of those things where like as us, we'll be like, oh, that's still pretty dirty. But for me, as a kid, went right over my head. I had no idea what that was. And when my friend said that, I was like, I was so innocent. That must have went again right over me. But once I looked at it, I was like, damn, I didn't realize how dirty some of these kids shows can
Yeah,
be.
they really are. I mean, because like, some of the times the parents watch the show, even though my mom never watched the shows with me,
Yeah.
but like the parents watch the show, so it's like, if I had to sit with my child to watch these cartoons, it's like
We're still gonna think that
you
like
gotta make it fun for me too.
yeah. Like for our kids, they're just gonna again. It could go over their heads.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I don't know. Child's a child. Whatever they pick up, they pick up. But I'd say most of the time, it'll go right over their head. But we're gonna think like, yeah, that's pretty messed up.
You know which one is like very dirty with like the jokes like that? Jimmy Neutron. I swear to God, I go to
Some good
YouTube
ones.
and I've always find a freaking short of Jimmy Neutron's dad just being either gay
There's
or like
there's-
very sexual with the mom. I'm like, bro, you gotta calm down. And
Yeah.
like you said, like as a kid,
You just thought he was like very weird but cool at the same time.
like just,
like
he was just a weirdo.
yeah.
And then as an adult, like this one with a banana, and I'm like, bro.
Bro, that's
And
too
like
far.
I watch it in English, right?
Yeah.
And then I watch it in Spanish because I watch the show in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's the same joke. And I'm like, how the fuck did I not see that? Like, it was.
That's
so
what I'm
obvious.
saying. That's why, like, when I look back at some of the things, I'm like, how did I not realize it was that?
Yeah.
What
like,
was
oh
I
my
thinking when
God.
they put that out the first time? Like,
Yeah.
when I did it the first time, I watched it. I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know, but like, since we're talking about kids now, this is a good way
Oh,
to
yeah,
go
yeah.
into like a profession. So like, I wanna talk about because you wanna be a teacher,
Yeah,
right?
I want to be a teacher,
So,
yeah.
I was for the longest time. I thought I was so confused because I thought you wanted to be a professor.
No. That
And
was...
Sean was the one that wanted to teach kids. But you also
See,
want to
I
teach
thought
kids.
that too, but then I was wrong.
What do you mean?
After a while. No, well, I thought he wanted to teach kids.
That's why he wants to do. No,
I thought I was older.
no, he wants to teach. Well, he teach kids at his mom's
Well, yeah. That's why
tutoring
I
center.
figured like he's like on the same wavelength as me, but I'm more like middle to high school. I thought it was like elementary.
No, I
pushing.
think he's elementary to middle school.
Okay, then I'm.
Oh,
okay.
so you're middle school to high school.
So I'm middle to high school. Yeah,
Okay.
I can only do secondary.
Now, why the hell do you want to teach kids?
Why do I want to teach kids? I get told this every time, and there's like my answer always changes, but it's still it's weird. It's kind of the same, but it changes a little different. It's like just a helping hand. You're just it's like I'm gonna have a kid at some point in the future, right?
Yeah.
I have to guide them and like walk them up a ladder, but I won't be there every step of the way.
Yeah.
But in this case, for me, I can like show them like different ways of how they can approach life. Like for me, I'm gonna be a history teacher.
Mhm.
So like I could just use history, personal experiences, mesh it together, and see what they think. Because I did student teaching, and that was like the best time I had, but also my worst when it came to like actually planning things and like getting things together. Because I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where like in the very very beginning of like my steps to starting as a teacher, I thought, okay, teaching's not difficult. There's probably some areas,
Yeah.
but like just doing everything that's asked me, it could be simple. But then after like a while, like getting involved with it and stuff, there's like a lot of like extra things that like I didn't even have to like do because I worked with a co-teacher, so we both like were like back and forth on a lot of things. But like teaching's tough. Like you got parents, you got the board on top of you, and then you have to make sure the kids are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You're following every little thing that the state's requiring you to do. So there's just a whole bunch of like everything's being toppled on us,
Yeah.
and we have to make sure we're doing the best we can to push this kid in the right direction. As long as I said like my goals are to just make sure that if I can get each kid to just walk away with something, it doesn't have to be like every little like detail that I ever spew out of my mouth, but if I could just get them in some sort of direction where they have a sense of like for me, it's just like, again, when I was in middle school, I had no idea what I wanted to do, where I was going, because I kept like bouncing around a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have like friends around, but like my teachers were like kind of like helping me like figure out like what I can do and what I can't do. Because I had like such issues with just like social interaction with like everybody. So, and they would just like help like just little things like, oh, you could do this better, or you could do that better. I think you're doing well here. Let me just give you a tool that helped me in the past. And I was like, okay. And I tried it, and it helps. So it's just those little things.
So you wanna do that to other kids now?
Yeah, just guiding it a step. Something I've done, I'll show you how I approached it. You show me something different.
Yeah.
Because every person's going to be different, and we see where it goes.
But like when you're teaching, because you enjoy it, right? Because you're teaching things.
I enjoy. That's the other thing. I enjoy it because I try to make it as enjoyable as I can. So, like for my friends, with their jobs right now, it's a good job, but it's bad because there's no like fun towards it. Like again, it's just work. It's a matter of just crunching numbers and stuff like right. The end goal is just I'm gonna do the job that's asked me. I'm gonna get money. I'm gonna make my job where I'm gonna make it so it's enjoyable. So that way, I want to keep walking in every single day with the same mindset, same positivity, same way I'm going to approach it every single day. I leave everything behind. I come in as the teacher. I'm going to be as fun as I can. Obviously, I'm going to be strict at first. I want to lay down the law first.
Yeah.
Because you got to come in hard and then ease up.
And then ease out your way, yeah.
Because then if you're too nice in the beginning, then
they're
going to
take advantage
of you. And that I learned like even before student teaching, but I failed in parts of it. So
yeah, because that's the thing. It's like you want to be the nice teacher.
You really do. And that's the thing. Like I feel like some like, and I feel bad because I think I was one of those kids where it's like I always felt like this one teacher was so evil, like against me for like no reason. Like I was a good student. Like I'd probably be like a B to A student. Obviously in high school I like slipped a little bit, but that's because like my whole thing and what was going on.
Yeah.
I started figuring out identity and what I wanted to do, who I am, what's the end goals for whatever.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of that was like, oh, my teacher, like hated my work when I knew it was an A+ work. This person's a terrible person. But no, they were doing it because they thought I could do
Better.
a lot
Yeah.
more. They didn't think I needed a lot. You know, I'm still good. I just think like keep going, keep pushing
Yeah.
yourself. Just when I thought like, oh, they're just trying to belittle my work when I know this work is good. Like that's just like one example.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has a teacher like that. Even I have when I was in the army when I was here, like, I had a teacher like that. But you know, you go back and you be like, I don't know, they were just trying to help you out.
Exactly.
And like when you're an adult, like you start to notice it, right? Because let's say like writing, right? Like I had to do a lot of writing and all that stuff. And I go back, right, and I start reading. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like I need a comma, blah, blah, blah. To start writing like an adult better now. Like those things you learn from your teachers.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually the tough ones.
Teachers are just like your, I won't say your second parents, but they're just somebody that's gonna help you along the road, and they're
They're
not
like your godfathers.
yeah,
your
you could say-
godparents.
yeah, that's fine, that works. Yeah, they're just trying to show you what you can do, and then you know your limitations, and how you can fix it, because not everybody's perfect.
Yeah.
So
But so this is what I wanted to ask you, because like, so you enjoy your teaching because you're teaching them subjects that you like, right?
well, yeah, for me
like
it's history.
and all that stuff. But like, do you also have to teach them other like
So like for
subjects?
me,
like let's say English or math?
yeah, so that's the thing. So like some of the stuff I'm gonna have them do is gonna involve some sort of writing. They're gonna have to read some things.
Mhm.
So like I'm gonna throw like probably like a couple pages of like something from history, and I want them to read it,
Yeah.
pull what they can, and use their own words and their words to give me something that I can work with. So like if I want you to explain, I'm trying to think of a lesson that I gave before. I know we did a big paper, but this was my teacher's idea, and I kind of was just like there to help her because this was like the first half. So the first half of student teaching, I'm only there for 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very disconnected from like what happens in those extra days that I'm not there. But during that time, she was giving out a big paper, and it was like, why did this person? I think they were talking about Andrew Jackson. I can't remember. I just know it was like, why did this person do what he did, or something like that? And he needed to write a big paper. She gave him a bunch of sources with a bunch of questions that would help like build something in their writing. So it's just one of those things where I'm just gonna expect you. You're gonna read the source. Again, this is involving language arts now. You're
Yeah.
gonna read something, but for me, I want you to just pull a couple things, use your own writing skills and your own things you've learned from a different classroom, ELA, and I want you to try to put everything together and see what you can give me. So for me, it's like a debate. For history, it's like a debate. I want you to just prove this point to me. See if you can
Okay.
prove this point. And I'm going to give you stuff that's going to help you prove that point. And based on what you pull out and your own words and what you've figured out how to put it all together,
Yeah.
then I'll see what you have, and then will it trump my case?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like
That's
one
not
of
bad.
those things.
So yeah,
I probably
interactive-
butchered a little bit of it, but like I know, yeah.
No, but because I remember, I didn't do things like that because I did, you know, this. I did 2 weeks of teacher assistant for.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
yeah, me and Elisa, we did it for 2 weeks, and it was high schoolers. That I think that's
Well,
why,
that's the thing. High school. Here's what I've learned. So you know what I've done. So for my student teaching, I've done
Yeah, she's out.
middle school, and they were 7th and 8th graders. And recently, I've been working with elementary kids, so like 4th graders. So I've seen the walk of life with both sides of like a little kid to like a not a teenager. What do we call them? Like young
Young
teens?
adults.
Young adults, like definitely high school, but I'd say like below teens. I don't know. They're still kids,
Kids,
regardless.
yeah, they're
They're
kids.
still kids, but I just feel like
Preteens.
there's a term preteens. Thank you. They both of them think so differently from one another, and then
Yeah?
what I hear from like high schoolers, it's almost like the same. Like each one's definitely different in their own way. Like little kids, they're like very attentive, want to know things, but I've never had a 10-year-old be so fresh with me, to my face, and I was so
like fresh
shocked.
out, fresh out.
I gave one simple instruction, and this one other kid didn't hear this instruction at all and does it. So the instruction that I gave to the rest of them versus that one kid who decided not to pay attention even though he should have.
Yeah.
He did something that I told him not to do. What is the one other kid that was one of the few that listened? Oh, he's doing the thing that's wrong, so I guess I can do it. No, you heard my words. I said not to do it. He's doing it because he's failing to listen, and I'm going to tell him right now that he shouldn't be doing it. So I'm going to do it again, and if he doesn't, then that's where we're going to have a discussion with the teacher, and we're going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid started, like, antagonizing me and be like, no, if you can do, and I'm like, no, you heard my word. I'm the adult here. You're the child. I'm telling you no, and the reason for the no, and I'll have my reason for it, because I don't, go against a child unless I know the reason is for a good reason. And it was for something about, like, because we're on a strict time kind of schedule for it.
Yeah, because you had to do like a
we have to
syllabus,
make
right?
sure.
I
have to make sure, like, in this case, we're just meeting the time right. So when it's math time, we do math. Then we switch to a different subject.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Between those times, we're switching between lunch to their next class.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm running behind just a couple minutes, but it's okay because sometimes we do run a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're a little bit early because sometimes I'll have my group of kids ready to go in the room and my teacher's not even there yet.
Okay.
So I usually just have them, like, I kind of, like, know what's expected to be ready. So I'll just tell them, like, oh, just make sure you have your Chromebooks out and the packets that we did from yesterday because I know we're continuing them today. So you might as well have those out because I know she'll say it. Mm-hmm. And most of the time she does, and I'm pretty on par with it.
Okay. Have you been able to teach a class all by yourself?
Student teaching, I did.
No. But that's
just
like
me
you
in
helping.
the room.
Yeah, just you in the room.
Okay, no.
Because I remember when I was in high school, I had for my biology class, I think it was, the teacher assistant. They had to teach a couple classes all by themselves.
So if I was allowed to, I could, but because it was elementary, I'm not technically allowed because my certification doesn't meet that. And on top of that, it's other subjects that I personally don't have, like, a full, like, general grasp of.
Oh, so is one teacher, they do multiple subjects?
Yeah, for elementary, you're doing all the subjects. So, like, it's like our basic math, basic reading, basic writing. And then there's the science and social studies.
Oh, so it's not like you have different teachers coming in.
No,
it's just
no.
one
well,
teacher.
Unless it's like there's obviously the special needs teacher who'll push in for that specific kid during a subject, and they will either one-on-one work with them or just make sure they're, at like a right pace. And then I usually step in. Like I've worked with one particular kid who has an IEP. So in case you don't know, it's like just something that they get either extra help, extra time on tests, certain things, like if they can't understand things, like let's say we had it posted on like a presentation.
Yeah.
I have printed copies of the presentation so he has in case like he feels like he's not getting enough notes. So he's entitled to get however much notes. And I did that for my student teaching. I made sure I'd like maybe 3 or 4, make sure like they had access to the notes just in case they missed something.
Yeah.
Or, access to the textbooks. Whatever they needed, we would provide.
Okay.
To make it so that they can perform at least to a level that now, okay, we're seeing where the problem is, and now we can like see how can we assist them in the best way possible. That now we're seeing some sort of improvement, because every year they're gonna go through a test. Because I was an IEP, so like I had to go through a yearly like just like test. I forgot because it's been so many years.
So like if you have let's like different students, they made like different levels,
that are
right?
like different levels.
Yeah, different levels.
Yeah.
When they go to the next grade, do you guys have like a selection to be like, okay, so this kid is gonna go
end of the
in
year
this classroom because he does better with this type of students, with this group?
Well,
so like the ones that you said, this one needs the more notes, right? And you have several students, not just from your classroom, but from other ones. So when they go to the next grade, they put them all together because they need the extra help and they're gonna know that.
If we can do it, and it's tricky
It's tricky. Okay. How
because
so?
it's like I'm just trying to think of student teaching because that's where we did it the most. Because with my 8th graders, because they were going into high school,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where now we have to recommend this kid to honors level or like just your
Or just
normal
regular,
classes,
yeah.
right? So, because our subject was social studies, we looked at each of the classes and me and the co-teacher were talking and we're like, okay, which ones do we think showed the most when it comes to certain things we're looking for? Who's been paying attention the most time? Who gives, like, when we ask for 100% effort, they give us 100% effort. Who even like shows us their interest in history? Who's there's a lot of things that we account for to then say, okay, this is an honor student, and because of the things we're looking for, here's our reasons now why. They gave us good work. They're always on time. They're always making sure their work's done. They work well with groups. So we don't ever have an issue where, like, that particular person, when they're within a group, we ever hear, like, oh, this person didn't do some of the work, or we couldn't work with this person because they kept arguing with us or something like that. Like, there's just a lot of things we account for to figure out, okay, do we think this kid is at a higher level or a lower level? And what I like to do, because this is the whole point of differentiation, one of the things I want to do when I start is obviously, like, and obviously a lot of teachers do this too. I started doing it where I rearranged some of my students where I would try to put kids in a way where the kids either know each other, where they can get comfortable. Like, if I feel like one kid's super shy, put him near somebody that they're comfortable talking to or working with. That way they're going to open up more and get involved with you. And then on top of that, somebody who's definitely like knows their stuff, more advanced, versus a kid who's not as advanced as they think they are. Have them work together, because that advanced kid could actually help in some way push them up a step. Because the thing is, you're one person. So like for me, it was like during the student teaching and what I do now, you're one person of like 20 so kids.
So you're basically looking for like other students that can help you.
Yeah,
with the other students.
Because again, you're one person in the room, and it's like all of them are raising their hands.
Yeah.
And they're all saying, "I need help. I need help."
Yeah.
I can only get to so many for so much time, and for a subject that's only like 45. Like, that's the terrible thing. I wish I could do it for like hours, but we don't have that kind of time. We only have like 40 minutes. So if with the 40 minutes and when I plan for the day, I want to see is I can try to get to certain kids. And again, those who are advanced level, it's more just a peek in and see, like, just kind of watchful eye and just see how they're doing.
Yeah.
But then for those who are struggling, that's where I'll be more involved a little bit. I'll work maybe on a question or so, and then leave them to their own devices to see if they can do the rest on their own. And then I kind of like help out. And then again, it's one of those things where like I wasn't required to do it, but I stay after. I stay after a little bit. If you need the help, I'll gladly stay for an extra hour. I do not mind helping you.
Yeah.
I do not mind it, because
I mean, that's what you're there for.
It's gonna be one of those things where like, because this is my like not fear, but it was just one of the things I talked to our one best friend.
Yeah.
Because he's also a teacher, and we both talked about like we both don't want to do
I know
high
him?
school. You do.
Okay.
I don't want to name drop.
Okay. No,
You'll know, but since we're both, well, I'm not a teacher yet, but he's definitely a teacher. But we talked about this before, where it's like we're both on the same mindset of I don't want to teach high school, because one of those things is you look at me now and like if I had shaved this obviously a little bit
you
better,
look like a high schooler.
I look like a high schooler.
Actually,
and
that might not even be true, because like I went back to my high school for a piece I did when my last year in college, bro. They look like middle schoolers or elementary schoolers. The high school, like I was looking at that, I was like, I don't think I ever looked that young in high school.
I mean, with the 7th and 8th graders, I was like, that kind of looks like one of the kids was like, yeah, I kind of was like that sort of like youth.
Yeah,
I'll say like he looked very youthful, and I was like,
no, I always look like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, because like even some of the kids were like, when I was student teaching, we're like, you have to be like 20. And I'm like, no, I'm actually like 20. When did I do? 24, 23, I think at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I'm just a couple ages older. But just that difference alone was like, wow, he's pretty close to our age. Well, I mean, they're like 12, 13, but like they thought like I was like a high schooler almost. So it's just one of those things where I'm going to go into high school, like let's say right
and you're
now.
gonna look like them.
And they'll be like, you must still be in college? And I'll be like, no, I'm actually a lot older than you think. But I appreciate it because, again, I'll take youth over, wow, you really look old.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I ain't dying like in the next 10 years. I'm not 60, 70. But yeah, I just don't like it where it's like I don't want to be too relatable to them.
Yeah.
But you want to,
I mean, yeah, you had to maintain a wall because at the end of the day, you may look like them.
Which is why I faltered a little bit in student teaching, but it was also for a good benefit because it's one of those things where, like, you'll figure it out along the way. Like for me, it was like my first goal was to like I need to get the kids to get involved with me.
Yeah.
If there's anything I could throw, like to the point where it was near the end of the year, I was like, anything I throw. It like even if it was boring and I can't blame them. Like there are some things we have to do some sort of boring thing like vocab.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, we're gonna go through these list of terms based on this time period. I think we're doing like Age of Inventions, whatever it was. Here's a list of some inventions and some like people and stuff. We're just gonna let you go through the textbook and you're gonna sift through it and you're gonna find that information. Pretty boring, right?
Yeah.
I can't make every single lesson the best lesson in the world.
No, of course.
But if I threw it at them, I built that rapport enough where they attempt the work.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, some of them would like every now and then slack off, and I would like just like go, hey, no, you're not slacking off. Let's go. Let's give it an honest try, because I know this isn't hard work.
Yeah.
I don't try to give like super hard work, but I want them to still feel challenged because I'm kind of putting in their hands. Like whatever work I give, I put in their hands first, see what they can do, and I like follow along with them. Like there's just a lot of things I do. Like I'm kind of like all over the place. Try different things. Do like it's just what I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trying different things, see what clicks, see what doesn't click. Like this is what like every first starting teacher is kind of like the same mindset where we're just going to throw things on the wall, see what sticks, see what doesn't stick. And which is why I'm thankful for my student teaching because like all the like I literally did this today. I was like sifting through all my stuff that I did with the 7th and 8th graders because of my interview that I'm going to have soon. I wanted to like sift through them and be like, okay, are these the things that I could even bring into my job? And there were some things that I came up with on the fly, like creative stuff that I was like, okay, I really like this lesson. Because I put it in, like, there was one, it was so, at least to me, I was like, it's fun, it's engaging, they're getting a kick out of it, and they've learned something where when I did a review with them, as soon as they heard the words, they immediately spit out everything that I wanted them to retain, and I was like, and that was my success. That's what makes me happy. It's like, I'm not just sitting there spewing words and it's going over their head. No, everything I'm saying is now clicking in there, is going right through the ear into the brain, and they're hearing me out.
Yeah.
From an adult to a kid, I'm trying to just tell you something. Granted, some of the things in history you're not gonna probably use.
I mean,
like there's just some things like the best thing was like that we kind of put in was current events.
Mm-hmm.
So we would watch CNN 10. Near the end of the day, if we had time, and sometimes usually on a Friday because it's like near the it's the last day of the week. We'll throw that in there. But like during that time was when Ukraine and Russia started like having their thing, and the kids were like the first day it was like produced and everything, and everybody found out about it. All my kids wanted to talk about it, and I was like, you know what? I'll talk to my co-teacher, and we'll see what happens. And she already brought up this conversation with me before as well, and we thought it'd be interesting. Let's let them watch a couple CNN 10s and see what they think, and see what like kind of generates. So like every lesson that I give, might be boring, but some lessons will talk about things that they're going to hear and won't understand. So like anything maybe about politics, because I do like with the 7th graders, I cover like Constitution, what are your rights, what are things that you are given, and what are things that like, again, as you get older, things like I told them like, yeah, again, at 18, that's when you are considered an adult. At 21, when you're legal, able to drink. Back then, we had the Prohibition Act, and then now you're able to drink. And conveniently left the amendment, 21st Amendment, when you're 21, then you're allowed to drink. Just little things that like they've seen in their life. Again, they might have seen it. So like when 9/11 what happened, right? I was like what, 5, 6? No idea what it was, like what was going on.
Yeah.
And I just knew my parents were terrified. Everybody's terrified. I had no idea what it was. And then I started like looking into it more. I took a terrorism class. So, and that was like one of the first assignments was like, go to your parent or somebody you know and talk to them about 9/11. It's just like one of those things. Get a personal experience. Like learn from other people.
And what did your kids thought? Like what did they bring up about Ukraine and Russia? Because you guys talk about it in class, right?
We did. I think we did. It was like, it's just one of those things where like we would let them watch it, and it's just like if we had time in between, like if we finished something we had already planned early, and we had some little bit of time, we would have that little like talk, like, okay, has anybody been watching anything recently, and what do you guys think? And again, an opinion's an opinion. So, you know, one kid probably watch something a little different. Oh, this thing happened here, or this thing happened here. I hear all opinions, and again, if I don't know anything, I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to be somebody that's like, again, I don't know everything. Again, history's gonna say there's a ton of out there. I don't know everything. I don't have the answer to all solutions or stuff like that. Even if there isn't, whatever. I'm just gonna give you my honest feedback, and you take it as it is, and I'm gonna hear you out, because maybe it's an idea or something you thought of that I never thought of, and now it's gonna get me to think. It's just a matter of I want them to think. I want them to think more and more and more and think about, okay, for me, when I teach history, we're gonna look at past events. You're gonna see some things that are not pretty, and I told well, the 7th and 8th graders knew that, but it was just one of those things where we both knew like. Some of the things we're going to talk about is going to be controversial. Some of the things we're going to talk about is not things that, unto our current time, are okay. But we have to know it, to understand it, to do better. We're building the next person. The next person is the better version of your previous person. Think of your parents. Your parents back then, the way they acted, the way they went through life. So, like, my parents, they had very hard, difficult lives. Parents were, like... not like abusive, but very hard and strict things. My parents didn't want me to go through that. Granted, they thought some things that they've learned from them make sense. Again, like taking off your shoes before entering a house because you don't want to dirty a house. Just like some small little things. Knowing the difference between right and wrong, things that, again, history shows us again. We did a lot of things we thought were right, but they were wrong, and there were some things that we actually did really good stuff for. It's just that's why I just love history. History has like every little thing. You like medicine? There's medicine and war.
I mean, I think when it comes to like all the classes, math and history are usually the more interesting ones.
They are, because the thing is, math you can't. This is the one thing that I hate about math.
What?
Let me tell you why. I love history because you can always argue and you can always throw an opinion. And same thing with writing and with science. Like there's no like finite answer.
But with
math, you can't argue with me that, again, 2 + 2 is 4. You can't tell me that, like, if a kid comes up to me and tells me 2 + 2 is 2, you cannot argue with me on that. I know 2 and 2 make 4. I can't argue it unless you somehow went back in time and just I don't know what you did to have changed anything.
I don't know where your calculation you got that, but that's wrong.
But I'm going to show you how I know 2 + 2 is 4, and you're going to show me where you thought 2 + 2 is 2. And I'm just going to let you know that I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you know. For math, you are wrong. That's why I hate it. I hate math because I hate saying you're wrong. I want to say
No,
you are
can't.
incorrect, but you're think of it
No
like
but.
this.
There's no buts.
Well,
in
no,
math.
for math. I'm saying for everything else though, make a lot of sense in some places, but I think you're thinking of these things or something. You know what I mean? Like we're having a discussion.
But I think that's the same way with history, because history, it's an event that already happened.
Well, yeah.
Those were the thing, right? History is just like math. This is what happened. This is how it happened. This is why it happened. Like you can say, oh no, they killed the Jews because they were white. No, they killed them because they were
because
Jews,
of the
right. Like it's just like math is just one way and that's it. But it's more. I think history is just more fun when it comes to like.
I just like
teaching.
it because it's again like you're just putting your opinions out there and you're trying to see what is everybody else thinking? What do you want to bring forth to a discussion?
Yeah, and that's the
We're
thing.
taking something from a previous event
Yeah,
of a past that none of us have ever lived.
yeah.
We've only heard about this. What do you think about this event? Does it like inspire you? Do you not like it? And what don't you like? Because like when I talked about slavery, it was a big one because it's just you have to cover it.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
I
do
told
they
them,
still cover it in school? Okay, that's good.
we still because we did so when Black History Month came up, I was like, okay, I know I have to do Malcolm X, MLK, like I have to do a whole thing. And then I even have to talk about, again, like even before that, when I was talking about the Civil War, slavery, how we're abolishing it, how we're moving forward now to, we're starting to talk about women. Sorry, but women don't get much until 1950s. That's the terrible part. But at least we're working a step towards slavery, a very big controversial topic. Because back then, people thought in the South it was the right thing to do. We are above that.
Yeah,
person.
that's why they still wear
the
flags.
Which is why when I teach it to the students, what do you think about this? Let me hear you out. Okay, I'm just going to show you I'm going to show you everything that has been recorded in the best way I can for an 8th grader, 7th grader to take in. That's, state rules and stuff like that. You're going to tell me what you think, and we're just going to have a discussion about it. I just want to know, what do you think? What is it making you think in your head? Just good, bad, indifferent? Like, what about it? Because, again, it's a pass, and you're now kind of thinking about where you're at now versus back then. So, like, I had one student, African descent, and he was the only one in the room of African descent. So when he gave me his answer was pretty interesting, the most interesting compared to others, because he talked about how his parents felt like it kind of like brought down to him, where he felt like he would be like looked at differently and like certain other things. And I was like, and that's where we're trying to move away from that. Again, we're doing better. It was bad then, but it's getting a lot better. It's not. We're not saying we're fully out of this. Yeah. But we're doing
you see,
a lot
that's
better.
why I really like history. Like, history has always been one of my favorite subjects, and it's because it's very interactive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, you can make presentations with people and all that stuff. And, like, I remember when I was younger, the idea of becoming a teacher was always like, no, I'm never going to be a teacher. Like, that's not really what I want to do.
It's such the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you do need, like, the one big thing for me is, like, you need to have a lot of patience, because you're going to expect a kid to go from 0 to 100. That's not possible.
Yeah, that's not possible. But that's the thing. When I was doing the teacher assistant, I was doing it with high schoolers, but it was doing, like, with filmmaking, right? Filmmaking is the same way. It's very interactive.
Yeah.
Very on hand. And I actually enjoy it. Like, at some point I was like, you know what? I think I can be like a professor or a teacher, like teaching
in the future.
In the future, right? Like if I'm tired of working in a studio or whatever, like, teaching sounds like fun now. But I think it's because I gotten older, and I think that's the thing. Like, the older you get and the more experience you get.
Oh yeah.
It's like the more you can see yourself being a teacher. Because if it was me like at your age or a little bit younger than you now, I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a teacher.
See, that's the thing. That's why I always, like, the reason I went to our community college where we met was to make sure I knew I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So I took a couple classes, and I was like, okay, if it works out the way I'm thinking, then this is for me.
I mean, I
If
think
it's
that's why.
not-
I think that's why everybody goes to community.
Well, no, I
college.
know, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things where I was in high school, and I was like,
Yeah, you just
at the
weren't
time,
sure.
I was thinking of a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And I couldn't nail down, like, I had teaching there. I
Mhm.
felt strong, but I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel bold enough to say, yes, this
Yeah.
is it. This is the one.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure I went to community college, sift through a bunch of things. Like, I did a whole bunch of, like, random stuff. Maybe I might want to be like, I knew teaching was probably one of the things, but, like, maybe I could try a little bit of aviation. Maybe I could try a little bit of this
Yeah.
and that. And I was like, okay, I went through community college. I feel much better now that I think teaching's just the way, because it just feels like that's just,
It just feels right.
this is what I was built for,
Yeah.
and I'm good for it. Now, granted, like, if I do start this September, I'm gonna be freaking out because, again, it's
But
a first year
Are you gonna start as a teacher or as a teacher assistant?
teacher. I'm trying to
so
be a
you're
teacher.
gonna be a full-fledged
I'm trying
teacher.
to be a full-fledged teacher right now,
Okay, gotcha.
which is why it's one of those things where the first year is gonna be your, like, it's not like the worst, but definitely, like, I won't say
It's the
scary.
toughest.
It's definitely
It's the
tough because,
toughest.
again, you're just starting to get your feet and you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out how you're gonna just do everything.
Yeah, because you had to come up with like the work schedule. You had to come up with the syllabus and where you're gonna teach and all that, right? Like they don't give you a
yeah,
guideline. You
like
had
the
to come up with
classroom,
it.
you're kind of like, yeah, you have to again, you have to send it to the principal and everybody to look it through, and they're just gonna be like, okay, we're okay with your lesson. The lesson's on you. The kids are with you. So once they're in the room, that responsibility's on me now,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to teach them the best way I possibly can.
Yeah.
As long as I'm following all those things.
Okay.
Um,
But like you said, that your license doesn't, because when you said that you didn't teach by yourself without a teacher in the room, it was because your
so
license.
for student teaching, student teacher, so because I was still at the college, so the way student teaching works is you work with the actual teacher.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is the actual teacher will teach, but you also would teach as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like on and off. So for the first couple months, I was, again, only in there for 2 days. So it's not like I could be ready to teach a brand new lesson or anything like that. But it was enough to where I was able to, when I wanted to plan a lesson for the day and work with her on it, like
Yeah.
I would talk to her like, okay, what are you doing this week? And she'd give me the whole rundown of the week, even the couple weeks before, like,
Yeah.
ahead of time, because we just have to plan ahead. And I'll be like, okay, I think that I could do something like this for this lesson
Mm-hmm.
on this day when I come in. And especially when I had observations, because that's when the superintendent would come in
Yeah.
and he'd oversee me and then be like, okay, that's when he'd give me his feedback. And then my co-teacher would be like, okay, we think you did this good. And maybe a couple things you can work on better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where, like, it helped me so much where, like, okay, like for my very first lesson was a very basic lesson.
Okay.
It was just like a lunchroom fight.
Okay.
A lunchroom fight happened and you're like super far away.
Yeah.
You now have to talk to the two people that fought, a person that was, I guess, somewhere in the
witness.
ring, somebody who maybe the janitor or whatever that's like in the other side of the room. Like
Yeah.
you're talking to other perspectives, and the goal was to have the students realize that, think about it, in the two people that are fighting are a primary source because you're getting from the actual person.
Yeah.
Everybody around you is a secondary source because they weren't in the event, but they have some sort of maybe relation to the event. Like maybe they did see the event, but they don't know it completely.
Mm-hmm.
And then, somebody who's far away, like, oh, it was really hard to tell, this happened and this happened, but you don't know for certain that's true
Okay.
until you hear like other things. So it was just one of those lessons. Like when I got reviewed over it, they were like, you did really good. Of course, like, I was probably maybe a little not like shy, but like my voice was a little quieter. Again, it's like you're just starting to do this for the first time, and you're trying to figure out, how do I want to approach this? How am I going to deliver this
Okay.
in the best way possible?
And
It's just a bunch of like it's one of those things I put in my resume when they asked me what is an outstanding teacher, and I put it as the last thing because I thought it was really important. Is like make the mistake and own it.
Yeah.
Because like we're all not perfect human beings. When I start this job, I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be honest with it. I'm not
No,
gonna be perfect.
You can be doing it for 20 years and you're not gonna be perfect.
Exactly. I could be doing this for like 50 years. I'm still gonna make some sort of mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
The only thing that's gonna change is how much I've taken away from the time to, again, let's say future me is in front of me right now. He's gonna be like, you're gonna do the same thing you're still doing right now. You're gonna make a couple mistakes along this road, but the only thing that doesn't change is, again, your goal. The goal is to get them to, like if I work with 8th graders, like my goal was to make if I could get every 8th grader to do really well in social studies.
Yeah.
And that way I could then have them pass, and we would be, because again, each teacher has to, like when we did the honors thing, we all have to agree like, okay, this person honors, good. Did he get honors in your section? Yep. Okay, what about you? Yep. Okay, so then he's an all-round honors, or she's an all-round honors kid then.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the things where it's like, I want to be that person to say, like, if I could stamp and say approval, I'm stamping every single person.
Every single person.
Because I want them to do well. That's the thing. That's just my I want people to do well and to do better.
Yeah.
Because we're just not perfect human beings. We're going to try, like we're still gonna try to be better.
Yeah.
But these kids are gonna take it another step, because we're not gonna be here, and in the next, like, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
Because eventually we're gonna go, and then we're gonna leave behind whatever it is. So like if we write a book or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point of living, to be honest.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something else. How many licenses do you have to get? Do you have to have
Just
one
one.
for teacher assistant and then another one for
So
you're actually teaching?
When you're a teacher's assistant, you need to have at least a substitute license, and you need to have done some time in school, so like 60 credits worth of college, and then that substitute license. So that's the thing. I've done substitute, so I was the only person in the room, and I just took the lesson that the teacher did and I just gave it to them and had them work on it.
Gotcha.
So if you're gonna say like if I was in a room alone, yes, I have been. But have I taught just me on my own with no other person in the room? Granted, you know, if a paraprofessional comes in, again, teacher's assistant comes in and needs to be there to then help the kid, which happened from time to time, because they're always going to be in that room.
Yeah.
And they're always good to have. Like, that's the thing. I love having a teacher's assistant, because I think the teacher assistant helps where they're working with the kid one-on-one to figure out that problem. They're there to help you.
Yeah.
And at least with my job, it's just one of those things where I always tell the teacher, like, whatever you need me to do, ask me. Please don't be afraid. Ask me. Again, you might be afraid if I can't do it. Ask me. You don't even know if I can or can't do it yet, but let me try.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there was just one thing, like, oh, I can make sure in the morning we get all the attendance down 100% for you. And this was, like, over the summer, granted. And she was like, okay, no problem. And she let me double check the attendance, and then I would submit those attendances. Just small little things.
Yeah.
Because it makes the teacher's job a little bit easier. So like when I did the student teaching, she did all the emails with the parents, so I didn't have to. I would look over, like, you know, she probably would let me like know about a couple of them and inform me. Like I wouldn't read the actual thing of what they said specifically, but she'd let me know, oh, okay, for so-and-so, the parent reached out and this happened. So I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. But I was just me and the kids. I'm going to teach the best way I possibly can with the lesson that's in front of me. Go, run it. And she would just be back there and she'd watch and see how I do it. And then granted, you know, emails come up and she's got to answer whatever emails that are, because it could be from like another teacher or the principal, whatever it could be. She's on the computer making sure that's done. And then again, I get if it's something pertinent to me, I would know. So just having that, like, that extra person in the room that could lift just a little bit off your plate, it helps. Yeah. Because again, one person versus 20 kids, and then you have everybody else looking over your shoulder, making sure that you're doing again, you're trying to do it to the best of your ability, and everybody else is making sure, are you hitting this? Yeah. And then again, I push it towards them and say, this is my plan. And again, reason I put in my resume, make a mistake and own it. This
Yeah.
is my plan. Not all plans go 100%, but I want you to know this is what I'm expecting, but there's no guarantee. So if I'm expecting like all my kids to have finished the assignment for the day, I'd like to. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to put in the plan. But not every kid's going to be like that because every person's going to be different.
Yeah.
So
Obviously,
it's,
yeah.
it's just one of those things.
So you have 20. How many kids do you have per classroom? Because like
It's roughly 20. I know it's usually
it's
around 20.
It's not like high school. Like they move around. The students move around. Because I didn't
Oh
go to
no,
middle school
yeah.
here.
So like 7th and 8th graders, like I get like I have 100. I had 100 like 14. I don't know.
14 students.
Yeah, because then it's like first period, second period, third. Yeah, 1 through 7 periods, 1 through 7, all 20 plus kids in a room, and they just rotate. So
Okay, gotcha.
I get 21 kids for first time, 23 in the second.
Okay, so it's a
rotation.
high school. The
So
students
it's like
are the one
yeah.
rotating.
When you're in middle school, you're rotating. Elementary, you stick with the same kids the whole time.
Okay.
So I had like, we had a lot. Like I was surprised how much she had. She had like 20,
that's a lot.
21 for elementary. That's a lot.
Oh, okay.
Kind of expected to be less because like the amount of teachers we had. But I guess for this year, we had such a small amount of like the graduating class was so small that we decided to move one of the 4th grade teachers down to 1st grade because that was a big class size.
Yeah.
And we're smushing all the 4th graders into 2 rooms, which is why
Okay.
we got like a lot in their terms, which
Yeah.
I granted it's fair. 20, I'm telling you, 20 kids, it is a lot. But
Okay.
again, we're talking about an elementary kid. Again, they don't know. Again, like you give them algebra, you're gonna expect them to know that. No, you can give it to a middle schooler. They'll give you something, and then a high schooler, they should
They should know.
technically know some. Like again, they won't know every tool, but like if I told them like a parentheses 3 plus 7 parentheses equals what, like just something. I don't know what it could be. Some sort of math problem. They could give me an answer. It may not be perfect, but they'll at least give me an answer. A middle schooler might struggle a little bit and give me an answer. I can't expect an elementary kid to know that.
Yeah.
But you tell them, like, what's 3 plus 3, and then they'll start counting their fingers and go,
Yeah.
like, okay, 6. And I'll be like,
yes. Yes.
um,
Which one has been your favorite so far? Like which
oh, God, middle
which
school.
grade? Like middle school?
I mean,
Because I'll be honest with
my
you.
bias is going to be middle school. Again, with my experience, it's going to be my student teaching because, like, my 7th grade, okay,
Well, wait,
if they
wait,
ever
so
watch
teaching,
this.
you mean middle schoolers?
Huh?
You mean middle schoolers? Were you
Yeah,
a student
middle
teacher?
schoolers.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the school I was at was a K through 8. So it's
Uh-huh.
elementary and middle school put into
Oh,
one.
put into one. Okay.
So the thing is, these kids haven't like moved a lot to where like, oh, I'm seeing a new face. These guys have been seeing each other's faces for like 7-8 years.
Honestly, I think that's better.
I personally think it's better,
Yeah.
but it's the only downside is they're not being exposed to the other like the school is a sister school to a bigger county district, so it's a sister little town area. So there's like maybe like 5 or 6 towns where
Yeah.
I was in one of those like tiny towns to one of those big district areas. So when they have the biggest high school because all those schools, those tiny little schools in those towns will all push into the high school at once.
Okay.
So they're going to see new faces when they go into 9th grade. But from K to 8, they're seeing the same group of kids every single time they're going through the school, which I find it better because they know each other by heart. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the kid that's always going to do something like wild.
Yeah.
Or like this is the smartest kid in our what they consider to be the smartest kid until we break them down a bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but
I do like to test them, and,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, like I think from speaking from experience, because in DR, the way that schools they work is it's kindergarten to 12th grade, all one school.
Oh, it's all one.
It's only one. So you see, so let's say
You're
are
making the 12th graders the role model to a tiny kid. That is That's a.
so.
Where's my red card?
So like, what do you mean?
Red flag, red card.
It died? Oh, 1 second.
Oh. Oh shit. Oh, that's okay. We're good on time. I mean, you weren't kidding. We're literally doing all one. Maybe you do it in a two-parter. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but the phone will be fine.
I was gonna say you put it on low battery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I never have it on.
I was gonna say I usually put it by when it reaches like if I'm at home, I leave it off. But then like if I'm out and about, I usually keep it on because I just never know if I'm gonna end up like in like the show Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never know if I'm gonna be in that situation, and I'm gonna need as much battery as I can. So whose cat is it?
That's not my roommate's.
So it's Elizabeth's.
Yeah, it's Elizabeth. Yeah. It's not Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth. Oh,
Yes.
so I've been saying it wrong this entire time, and you haven't told me.
Every time you say Elizabeth, I mean, every time you say Elizabeth, I say Elizabeth. You just
No,
don't
no,
hear
no,
me.
no. I hear the A in your voice. Don't you turn it on me.
Okay, you know what? Let's just turn this camera for me.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
This way, that's enough.
We'll probably.
Can you see that it's just me for me? I'm sorry, Mama. We're just gonna have like this. Thank God I just had one episode.
You'll
We had
just
the
you'll
same
just do the what do you call it? The cut
Yeah.
picture where
This camera, I'm so disappointed with this camera. This is the second time it does that to me.
This isn't the newest one, right? Because that's the
This is newer than
right.
this
Then that
Oh,
one.
this is the
Yeah.
second one I got. But anyway, so where we did? Oh, so in DR,
Yeah, it's all.
it's all in one, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
terrible.
it's why is that terrible? I think
it's a bad idea.
so. I will say for my personal experience,
Yeah,
I
tell
hated
me.
it because I hated the kids that I was with, because I remember I was moving to different schools a couple times, but then I was in just one from first grade to eighth grade.
Okay.
The same kids.
Yeah.
We were 30 kids,
Yeah.
and we don't rotate. The teachers do rotate. So like if we have math,
Oh, so you're with the same group.
the same group.
Okay, yeah, no. We mix it around.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Here
yeah.
you mix it around, but in DR, it's so you just the
Yeah,
same
so
30
in
kids
kindergarten,
from
it's like
kindergarten until 12th grade.
in
The same people.
In kindergarten, the point is like you're gonna know this person in the same room every single day of
Every
your life.
fucking day.
Oh my god!
But
that's
I think
so
it's better
funny and
because-
bad.
But I think
No,
it's
that-
better because these are people that you grew up with, and you know them all
Right.
your life, basically.
I know, but it's also you still want to be able to like talk to different people. Like again, I
No, but
liked
you
our.
can because you have all the grades.
Well, yeah, but I definitely do not want a 12th grader talking to a kindergartner.
Well,
No,
Obviously,
well, like
when-
they'll have a better
they,
mind.
ha-
Like,
they have it. They have
Yeah.
it separated, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So the way they do it is like, let's say for recess, right? It's the same way they separate elementary, middle school, and high
yeah,
school.
so,
So
in
your
the
recess-
hallways, they're like, yeah, this is the first grade.
Yeah.
To
So
second
they
grade.
have it
wing,
divided like
yeah.
that. But like it's all one school. But like I remember when I was in sixth grade, I would play like before classes started and after school, I would play soccer with them. But it's good because you get to know these people
Well,
all your life.
you played with like other grades below you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
yeah,
played.
yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you're in the same classroom with the same
Yeah.
people every single time, every single
Every
year.
single day.
Yeah, that's not as
Because like here, I remember I was a 12th grader and I was having classes with a 9th grader. I'm like, why am I having a class with a 9th grader? I feel like either he's too smart or I'm too stupid that we are in the same
school,
class.
Yeah, but high school, that's kind of like the thing though, because for electives, it's like you could
Not
be
even
with-
for electives, for like your regular classes. I don't know if it was because I was an ESL student, like English as second language.
Oh,
But I remember I was in a math class, and I was
You were a 12th
I was a
grader,
12th
and
grader, and I
everybody else
had
is
a
ninth
9th grader. I'm not everybody else, but like it was a mix. You had 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th grader. Yeah, maybe
What
about it.
math was it?
I have no fucking idea, bro. I'm too old to remember.
Because I would understand with math, it's like, okay, when we're talking about algebra, maybe it's like
No,
only
no
certain
algebra.
kids.
I think it was maybe
Statistics.
I fucking hate statistics. I think it was that one.
Did I tell you
hate
about the
statistics.
college statistics I took and how the guy, again, I shouldn't be hating professors, but this this guy was such, I can't describe in words, but it was just one of those things where it was so smart, but I hated him, but it was my fault anyways. Where he, for an extra, like I think it was Halloween. Was it Halloween? I don't even know. He brought a bag of candy, and we had a statistics test coming up, and he was just like, "Here, each person grab a candy," and I'm the only one that when I was sifting through the bag, because I was like one of the later kids, like, so there's not that much candy left.
Uh-huh.
I see this like crumpled up piece of paper, and I'm like, what the heck is this paper doing? It's like pretty, like not big, but like, you know, it's
Yeah.
about like this size. It's crumpled up, and I wanted to grab it, and I grabbed it, and I'm kind of like feeling it a bit. I was like, maybe it's garbage. Yeah, it's probably garbage. I'm gonna grab this. Like, I forgot if it was a Tootsie Roll, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I grabbed it, and my friend at the time, like there was 4 of us, all were thinking the same thing, but we all glossed over it until the third. It was like the second or third to the like last. So there's only 3 of them left. It's either the third or the second. See the paper, and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just grab this paper." Opens it up, and it says, "You get 20 points plus on your test." And I sat there, and I looked at the man, and I looked at him like, I'm gonna kill you. You could have just at least like given me a sign, anything.
No, because it's a statistic.
I know, no, and that's why I hated it. I thought that too, like in the back of my mind. He just think I'm just ones and zeros here. I'm just another statistic of every
Basically, you're
saying
just another ones and
who would
zeros.
grab that, and I grabbed that paper. I just didn't open it because he should. I would have loved if he would just been like, oh man, I don't know, it's just a paper, I guess. Like just any sort of sign would have been nice. Like I don't know, maybe.
Dude, that's nothing. Did Sean ever told you about the class that we took together? So me and Sean, we've been taking a class.
Which
When
one was this?
we met in a class together, a math class,
Oh,
and
okay.
then we were trying to take another class. So his last semester, we took a microbiology.
Oh,
And I hope my mom doesn't watch this because I told her that I passed the class. But me and Sean, we jumped the shit out of that class.
that was the one thing. I'm not the type of kid that I don't want to fail, but I don't want to like be perfect.
Yeah,
So like when I was little, I was that kid that always got 100 no matter what.
me too. But like,
But when it was like middle school ish, I started like to slack just a little bit because that's when I started being
Yeah.
more sociable, and then like I was able to find
for
my
me,
feet.
for me that was college. But like the thing is, like I've always, and I don't think he ever noticed that. But to me, like I've always tried to be in a competition with him. So I was like, yeah, let's stay that class together. It's gonna be our last semester, blah blah blah. And me, the idiot that I am, I was like, I don't know what microbiology is. But he was like, no, well, I'm taking this class. It's a little hard, but like, I know I'm gonna like it. I was like, okay, I'll take it with you because I need another science. And then we went to the class, and the first thing the professor said in the first class was like, if you are not a nursing major,
Yeah,
now is your chance to drop the class.
yeah.
And then me and Sean, like the idiots that we were sitting in the class.
But that was me when I took that one class. I told you about it. I took a Cuban what was it?
The Latin American history. Yeah, I
class.
remember.
The professor now this is a teacher that I definitely didn't like, and he definitely didn't like. I felt like he put on the persona. I'm a likable guy, but I'm the type of guy that's gonna expect PhD work. I'm a college kid. What are you asking me? You're asking me to be like you? I don't even have a doctorate. I don't even have a bachelor's, and you're asking me to do work of that level already?
We don't even have an associate at that time.
Exactly.
Like, what are you looking for?
And granted, the class was awesome. I loved the class, but every paper I gave him, 25,
Oh,
50. And I'm like, this is like my best college work.
yeah. It's
Like,
so annoying.
And no, but here's the thing. I brought it to the other social studies teachers, and they were like, yeah, this is like like low as 70 is like if he does put you low enough,
Yeah.
a 70. But it's like 85, 90 if
Yeah.
anything, if he's reasonable. And then, you know, if he's like, if he only glossed over it, you could walk away with a
Yeah.
100 somehow. And I was like, so I'm not crazy. And he's like, he is a tough professor because he expects like very finite
yeah,
things.
but that's not being tough. That's just being an ass.
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like most teachers, they really do like want the best for you. But there's just those people that are just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what gets them to that point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like right now we do have a huge teacher shortage. Like, we have a lot of teachers like flying out. I don't
Yeah.
know what or why, other than like it could be because of pay or just like certain changes and like
Yeah.
how the district is being run or whatever the reasons are, retirement. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've seen like a huge gap of that.
But before we end this,
Oh yeah. That's right.
Alisa, what was the question that you wanted to ask him?
Oh yeah.
How do you deal with standardized testing?
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Wait, but so like, remind me again. What are the standardized tests?
Like
'Cause I'm
anything
an
you
idiot?
have to take to like pass the next grade. I think like so.
Yeah. So they
JAS,
usually give you a test to see where you're at
Mhm.
in that year, to then we'll see how you go the next year. So
Okay,
you know,
so your finals,
So remember,
your
remember
finals.
college. Remember how you took like a basic test to see like, do I need to put you in the most basic math,
Oh,
or can I put you in?
okay, yeah.
It's one of those types.
It's one of those
things,
tests. Okay, gotcha.
So it's just every year is what we have to do. For us, when again, I hate it because we just sit there and we just watch them suffer, and I feel bad for them because it's like again, they're questions that they can answer, but there's maybe like a couple that like they're not expected to answer, but we're just curious to see like could they and how do they?
yeah.
Because it's challenging. But the only thing I don't like about standardized testing is it's taking away our time. Because they only have a certain amount of time to learn. We have to teach them everything we can, and we only have a certain amount of time. Standardized testing cuts that time. So like we did standardized testing for like an entire week. I could have done like an extra few couple lessons in that week that would have helped, but I had to cut that away to do
To
that.
do the standardized test.
But again, we need to do that because we need to see if they
It's
can.
a requirement.
Yeah, it's a requirement that
Yeah.
they have to have. So there's not really like a best of time to fit, have
Yeah.
both worlds perfectly aligned somehow. but
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. I mean, we give it, they do it. We don't really get the score. Like I think we do get the scores back and we can see, but obviously we don't say who did
But
well
isn't that
and
like a
not.
good way to see where your students are?
It is.
To see
It is.
how you can help them?
And it also helps for the ones the next teacher they're gonna have to know like where their level's at too. And again, they're gonna hear it from us as well. So like when we pushed our 8th graders to the ninth
Yeah.
graders,
So that's not
They're
really like
hearing
a
from-
bad thing then.
no, it's standard testing isn't a bad thing. I just don't. The only thing I don't like is like again, we're just sitting there watching them. At least with my experience with it, is I've only just sat there, just like do the best you can.
Yeah.
Even though I want to be like, okay, here's what you think of it like this. I can't do that.
You can't do that.
I
yeah.
can't. I'm not allowed. I'm supposed to have tape over my mouth, and
That's tough.
and just like a little people that says,
yeah, that's tough.
and
to
then
do.
just watch them suffer, and I hate it. But they have to do it,
Yeah.
and they have to try.
and because I remember you had to take one in 8th grade and then another one in 11th grade.
I feel like
Or is it every year?
I feel like it's every year because
Every year?
again, my fourth graders did it, and I knew some of them weren't doing too hot.
Because I know there's
but-
another standardized test that you have to take.
It's every year until you get to like junior year, which is SATs.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another
When-
test.
because the SATs is what's gonna
yeah,
get you
but that's for
into-
college. That's a
yeah,
different
yeah,
thing. But there's another test that you take in 8th grade that you
okay.
have to pass, and then another one is in 11th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
that's
think I know
that's
what you're
another
talking
type
about.
of standardized test that you have to do English, math, science, and history. You have to take those
Yeah.
4 classes.
Those
or tests.
it's kind of like the same thing where it's like we're just trying to figure out placement wise, do we need to put you in the lowest of like we'll just say math again for example.
Mhm.
Do we need to put you in a lower math section or can we start you like for me? Can we start you off right in algebra, or do we need to put you in a class that's before that?
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just trying to like placement wise, what are you ready to do? Like some kids already went to geometry or like some of the big ones, so like calculus or statistics right off the gate.
Okay, gotcha.
It's one of those things. I think that's what they're doing. But just like if we're just gonna go down to it, can you write, can you read, and can you do the math that's being asked of you at the grade level you're at?
Yeah,
We're gonna throw it.
I hated those tests.
I didn't mind them. I just as a teacher, I'm gonna say as a teacher, it's just like I'm just sitting there watching them suffer. But again, they need it. They need to do it because they gotta. This is everything they've learned. It's just again, I don't like it because there's no history in it.
Yeah,
it's just reading, writing, math. Again, writing I can get along with because I want them to write good papers. They should know. Okay, pull a source, see what they can do. If I can watch them and I see them do it, all right, it's a success for me. But it ain't much of a success for the math teacher if I see their math's not so hot.
Yeah.
And then I talk to the math teacher and be like,
so the teachers, they get in trouble if they don't pass, the students.
I wouldn't say we get in trouble. It's just like, are you seeing like trouble to the point where like
trouble meaning your students, they're failing. Why are they failing? What are you doing wrong that they're failing?
Oh
your
yeah,
class?
then we're gonna have that discussion and come up with a plan of like how could we fix this? Because again, not like for me, like we would talk to the other social studies teacher. Like again, teachers talk to teachers, so like it's not just me as like again working with just the 8th graders. So like we share me and this one other teacher. So me, the co-teacher, and then the other teacher in the other room across from us, we both taught 7th graders. She took one half, we took the other half.
Gotcha.
So we would talk with each other and be like, okay, we plan to be here. I don't know where you plan to be, but this is what we're gonna cover. What are you covering? So we're just going back and forth to figure out, okay, how are your students doing? And we'll tell her honestly how we think we're doing. And we were ahead of her, so we would be like, okay. I think there was like one day, we did this lesson, and it went out actually pretty good. And she was like, okay, it didn't look too great for me. And I was like, I don't know. Leave it with you. We can give it to you if you change your mind, and if you want to use it, go for it. Because again, we do share, like that's the thing. For one thing that teachers we're known for is we do always like, again, it's a wheel. Like take from other people and use it in a way that you can use. Not everything 100% is going to be creative off the head. Like most of my lessons, a good majority of it were stuff that were from other teachers.
From other teachers, yeah.
But some of it was creative things that I took and I did a spin on. Like one thing, I stole this from my high school teacher, and I'm still going to use it because it's such a brilliant idea. And I love this idea. Just do Jeopardy as a review.
Oh, that's so good.
It is because like the kids get engaged with it. And surprisingly enough, when I did it with my co-teacher, I don't think she was a big fan of it because of the amount of
work it takes.
No. Because of the amount of, I think, is that one dead too?
Just that one.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
okay. Because I can't tell. I only see me.
No. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
She didn't like how out of hand they got, and I didn't like it too because I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop until you stop screaming like crazy. Again, it's a game. You're gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna let you calm down for a second, and I'll move on to the next question.
Yeah.
And then they would calm down and be like, okay, we're gonna move. And then they would like, again, the heat of the moment. Oh, but it's supposed to be like this. And I was like, okay, again, human nature. I don't know the rules of the game 100% because it's the first time I'm trying Jeopardy with you. So please bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can. And so far you're having fun.
Yeah.
It's not an issue so
yeah,
far.
it's not an issue.
I mean, I'm happy because I'm looking at the scores and everybody's scores are pretty high. So you know what that's telling me is you should pass this test.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because then I get the test and I know, and again, most of them are pretty good. Like a lot of them come out really well.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple and I go like, I know when I put this question and your entire group said the same answer, all of you said the same answer, and I'm looking at this test and you got this answer wrong.
It's like, I know you know the answer.
I know you know the answer. Why did you get it wrong on my paper? And it was funny too because like even my co-teacher, like there was one test we gave, a few of them that we were surprised didn't do so hot.
Yeah.
we pulled them back again and had them redo it again. But we
Mhm.
did it in a different way because I think maybe they rushed it because it was on their laptop and they were just clicking and rushing.
Yeah.
So we gave them physical copies, had them do it again, and a couple of them like answered the couple of them they got wrong
Ooh,
correct.
Give me a second.
Oh, I'm in trouble. He's gonna give me a test, and I'm gonna answer all 150 questions, and I'm gonna get a 50 on it.
Nothing like that.
Uh,
Just remember, since that camera is there, I'm just gonna charge the phone so that it doesn't die.
oh, okay. Wait. Oh, I see what you're gonna do because you're gonna take that. Yeah. Oh my God, I did that. Okay, no. Sit down. Sit down. Quick. Because you're gonna want to hear this. You're gonna want to hear this. Now, my, if they ever watch this, they might
fix that first.
they might find it funny. But I did this. I did the citizenship test with
It's
my
so
students.
easy.
You think it's okay?
Bro,
no.
the
Okay, no.
citizenship-
Let me rephrase. I gave them remember the Jim Crow laws, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what they are. I gave them the citizenship during that time. So you know how hard it was to get your citizenship during that time, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I threw that test in front of them, and I just said good luck. and they were all like, "Oh my God, we're taking a test," and I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna prove to me whether you're a citizen or not. Take the test. Good luck. Time starts now." And they're sitting there, and they're like, "I don't even know what this means."
Good luck.
Good luck. Fill in the blank. And they're just. It was so funny to me. They tried their best. They answered. They were answering some of them, and I'm like, I thought you guys would actually give up like faster. I thought you guys would be like. I thought one kid would take the paper and be like, "This is no."
Dude, this is the thing. Okay, so obviously, you know, I wasn't born here.
Yeah.
So I have my green card, whatever. And I took the test and I saw the questions, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, these are things that they taught me in like high school. But then I think about it and I'm like, well, they probably learned those things in high school because I wasn't born here. So those are things that they expect you to know.
Yeah.
So they teach it to you in high school. And since I kind of pay attention in high school, I remember a lot of those things. But I see Americans like videos that they do, like, oh, let's see if they know the test, the questions of the test, bro. These people don't know anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
and these questions are so easy.
My dad passed his citizenship a couple years ago.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, he wasn't born here.
No, I know that, but I
No.
thought he was a citizen. I
No,
thought he
no,
had
no, no.
citizenship.
He had same thing, like a green card,
A green
some
card?
sort of card. I forgot.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
green
don't
card, green
remember
card.
if it was a green card, but
That's the only one. That's the only one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. Yeah, he passed it a couple years ago, and it was funny when he was like going over, like reviewing it,
Yeah.
like being prepared for it. I looked at some of the questions. I was like, even if I asked a random person this question, I don't think they would know, and
No,
yet
no,
they're
they won't.
American.
They won't. Because you know what the problem is with the test is that it's 100 questions.
It is, yeah.
And then out of the 100 questions, they only give you 10. So you still have to learn all 100 questions.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, 100%.
But
That was the same thing for my cert.
You don't know which 10 they're gonna give you. But like the questions, the questions are so easy. I don't remember right now what it is, but if you give me one of the questions, I'm
Well,
probably
yeah,
gonna be able to
because
answer
they're
it.
most likely gonna pull the basic things that they can.
Yeah, like
but then
they
they'll
ask
throw
you-
a couple.
They ask you who's the current senator of the state
oh,
that you
yeah,
live
yeah,
in.
yeah.
They ask you who was the first president, the year of independence, and I was
Yeah.
born 4th of July, so I already know that one.
What
Yeah.
is the supreme law of the land?
Are you asking us, or are you
That's
just?
literally the first question.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought you were asking us, and I was waiting for him.
I mean, I'm asking.
Okay, now you answer it.
What's the question again?
What is the supreme law of the land?
The 10, I was gonna say the 10th Amendment, but that's the Bible.
Are you gonna see the Bill of Rights?
The Bill of Rights, yes, sorry, the Bill of Rights, that's the one.
Answer.
The Constitution.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Well, it's
It's the same thing. Don't
I-
come at me
I-
like a lawyer, okay?
I would.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. But yeah, I'll give it to
Yeah,
you.
I remember because my sister did it
You're not
first.
wrong. I just wanted to be like a little petty and specific.
Yeah, like always. Because like my brother took it first, and then my sister took it first. Then my
Uh-huh.
brother, then I took it, and then my mom took it. And I remember I took it. I really didn't want to like study or anything because I was like, well, they taught me this stuff in high school, and like I still remember them. Like, do I really like? I only remember the ones for like current people and events or whatever because
Yeah.
they ask you current events. Those were the only ones that I memorized, and but that was it. But when my mom took it, she bought like these cards that have like the red ones are the questions and the white ones are the answers of the questions. And she was
Huh.
just this is the thing that they sell to immigrants.
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
So it's like my mom was like learning and
Right,
learning.
just doing the
Yeah,
whole thing.
and like I had it. It's like, mommy, we have there's like a lab for this. There's literally a lab to help you study for the test. And like it's always, I remember I took the test on the app 3 times. I passed 3 times. I'm like, okay, I don't need more. This is, but like
Wait,
I
you
said,
had to take it 3 times?
no. Like I took it 3 times just to because every time they changed the 10 questions.
Oh, the practice.
Yeah,
I
the
thought you meant
practice.
like
No,
the
no,
actual.
damn,
I was
3
like,
times, bro.
wow.
3
They let you
times?
take it 3 times?
Not even if I was a terrorist, I had to take it 3 times. What the fuck? No,
Okay, but the practice, yeah.
but the
you
practice,
took it 3
yeah,
times.
I took it
you
3 times. I passed all 3 times. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to study more.
Okay.
I'm
and then
fine
you
with
passed,
this.
No problem.
Yeah, but like I said, like Americans, bro, it's like they don't know any of these
Well,
questions.
yeah, on the fly they might not know, but like I feel like it's just one of those things where like again I might not know the answer, but like I might somewhere in here might
Yeah.
have remembered it. It's not coming to mind.
You know
It's
what?
just one of those things that I've talked about where it's like there's that missing like 10% of our brain or something
Yeah.
like that. That's like if we had it, then
Dude,
it unlocks everything.
that's
'Cause
you
again,
know that's not
everything-
true, right?
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, we store a lot of information, but the only things that like come up are the things that we can like.
to take off from work.
I think it's gonna be one of those things where we push it off to like next summer.
Oh my god, no! I would die.
I
I
feel
would
like
die.
I
A
have
whole
feeling-
year?
I have a feeling.
A whole year without having one episode with him? No, I will not
have
accept that.
feeling, but
I
I don't
will
know.
not
I
accept
don't.
that.
Again, the future's unsaid.
Yeah,
don't know.
I will not accept
I
that.
don't know.
But anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.